Hello, this is part 3 of the first half of Act 2, I should say. This is the part of living the dream. So if we consider the A world, the initial world, the problem, the world that has the story problem, as the nightmare world where things are not as they should be, and if we consider the B world as the dream world where things are as they should be, this part of Act 2 is the part where you're living the dream. So here we have Ruth. She has travelled from the A world into the B world. She has found favour with the people. She has found family. She has found a home. She belongs there. And this part is living the dream. But it's not just about living the dream. We're going to see a little bit of opposition rise up, but that opposition is quickly squashed because we're going to see how well she's integrated in the B world here. This part of the story functions to show that she is integrated, and this is where she gets to flex and where she gets to live that dream. It's also the calm before the storm, because something's going to happen in the middle that upsets the balance. So we need to establish that balance in this section here. So part 3 goes from chapter 2, verses 12 to 16. So the dream life in the B world here is that so Naomi has just found favour with, let me say it's 13 to 16. Let me say 14. So she has become part of the family up to up to verse 13. In verse 14, we see them living the dream. So we see there's a meal time that happens, and Boaz says to her, "Come over here, have some bread, dip it in the wine vinegar." They're all eating together, they're having fun, enjoying themselves. And when she sat down with the harvesters, he offered her some roasted grain. You know, you have Boaz, who is the authority. He's the owner of the land. He's personally offering her grain. This is the dream. And as she got up to glean, Boaz gave orders to his men: "Even if she gathers among the sheaves, don't embarrass her. Rather, pull out some stalks from the bundles and leave them for her to pick up, and don't rebuke her." So here we have some sort of hint of the opposition. So there's a minor opposition that happens, and I think it's implied here that if Boaz is telling his men not to embarrass her, maybe it's implied that they were embarrassing her, or that they might have embarrassed her, or that there was something going on there. There's something simmering under the surface. So it's a minor sort of rejection, but it is quickly squashed. Boaz gives the order, and there we have it, back to the dream. And also we see when that opposition is squashed, we see her elevate to a higher status. So before she was someone who was just gathering behind the servant girls, now she is someone who Boaz's servants are actually instructed to provide for. They are to pull out stalks for her. She is someone who has found such favour with Boaz that he is taking from his own provisions to give to her. It's not just the what's left over that she gets, but she gets some of the best that's being gathered in that first harvest. So we have Ruth gleaning in the field until evening, and then she's threshed, and the barley she had gathered amounted to about an ephah. She's got a huge amount. She's got more than enough to take back to Naomi. She carried it back to town, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also brought out and gave her what she had left over after she had eaten enough. So this is the dream. This is the balance. If the story ended here, Ruth and Naomi would be happy. We would be happy for them to just leave it here. So we've established that balance here. Her mother-in-law asked, "Where did you glean today? Where did you work? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." So again, Naomi is satisfied. She is happy. We could be happy to just live in the B world like this forever. And then Ruth told we'll leave that to the second section. So the important part of this section of the story is to establish that balance, to really live out that dream, so really flesh out that eating together and the provisions and the abundance of, like, going from a place of famine to a place of, wow, look how much I've got, is pretty phenomenal. So that's living the dream within the dream world. And I hope to see you in the next section.